Welcome to Truth Tuesday, second half on my channel. Um, welcome. All right. So we were talking over on Lisa's channel about a lot of stuff. We ended with mentioning the military in Britain, which I was telling Lisa how small the military in Britain is.
Yeah.
And that they're talking about conscription. And
Is that as far as like percentage wise, like a ratio of Americans to our military, is it even percentage wise just small as well?
that's a good question.
You know, the UK is just a lot smaller than America.
Yeah. Computer, what's the population of computer? What's the population of the United Kingdom?
In 2024, the population of the United Kingdom was 68 million people.
No, it's very not. It's about 10 times too small.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have like close to 3 million.
330.
It's about 1% of our population is in the military.
Okay.
So they should have like 600,000,
Oh,
700,000.
And they have like, what did you say, 150
like,
or
100, and that's like total, like 130 or something. Yeah, that's wow. Okay. What was it? Everything's changing when it comes to like it's not changing for us. It's how we've lived our life. That's why I didn't understand it as a kid. I thought it was the dumbest thing. But our eagle, with the olive branch in one hand and the arrows in the other, and my mom's like, "Well, there's peace with strength," and I was like, "That's dumb." I was like, "You pick a lane, man. Either you're a peace person or you're you know what I mean?" But it was the prime minister of New Zealand said everyone's increasing their military budget, and they said that we have to shift from a world and nations of rules to a nation of strength. And I'm like, that's basically what I hear is America's going to be the police for the world, so we don't have to worry about it. And now we have to worry about our own shit.
We've been the police for the world.
Yeah, and that's why. But to hear a leader of a Western country say that out loud, the quiet part out loud, like we don't have to worry about it. Now we have to worry about it because they're not the police anymore. But they're especially. I mean, most countries spend like 0.5% of their GDP on military. That just seems. And we complain about how much we
haven't had to worry about it because we have gone around and done that for the whole world. I see what you're saying.
That's like one of the things that have given people cause to complain. It's like other countries spend, 0.5%. Why do we spend like 8%, 10%? But the reason is because it's a circular argument. The reason we spend so much is because other countries spend so little, and they're our allies, and we protect them. So it's it comes back upon itself. But to get back to Britain, so this is the controversial thing. So they're talking about bringing them in the draft and making people have to serve, right? Mm-hmm. Not a crazy thing. But there will be exemptions if you're Muslim.
What?
Exactly. Yeah. Can
you imagine their culture so much?
Can you imagine the outrage that people have over there? This just got announced.
Oh my God.
That is, it's I mean, rightfully so, but Israel, the Hasidics don't have to serve. Every citizen has to serve in Israel, in the IDF, not Hasidics. They don't do anything military. It's total class system that nobody talks about. And they were talking about now because Israel's the world's like, hey, you're doing genocides and we don't like you. So Israel's like, we'll do it on our own. And then they're like, everyone has to fight. And all the Hasidics were like, excuse me, us? No, we're scholars. We're intellectuals. We don't do that gross stuff. That's for the rest of you. It was a huge thing. No one talked about it. It wasn't in the news a lot, but yeah, the militant Israeli government backed down. Said, okay, just the rest of us will fight.
Wow.
Force everyone else to be in the military.
And so the UK is going to follow those same guidelines.
I think it's powder keg. I think it's.
Is that what's going on in Texas with that whole Center City thing, or isn't that what it's called? That Muslim city that kind of popped up. They don't allow dogs, and have all the Sharia law and
they tried to have Sharia law, and there's all these. I saw those posts on that. It's like, do you think Sharia law should be outlawed in the U.S.? I'm like, it is.
It's not. Should it be? Yeah, it's just not.
Well, you can't go behead someone because they do. You can't stone someone's wife because you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If you do that, it's already illegal. So to pose the question, it's stupid. But so that what's weird about that is that the feds are the one coming in and busting up that place. It's not anything to do with the state or local or anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the feds are coming in.
I thought they said that Abbott got involved with that and was.
No, it's been very slow, and he did because it was like a big deal. But they did the same thing in other states like Minnesota, where that's why Ilhan Omar's in Congress, is because literally they did her district, and it's like Muslim towns. Like if you look into it, it's a little weird. Like there's places your regular people can't go, that kind of thing. But yeah, the Texas town thing, it's coming down. There's so much there that's bad. Like these people got mortgages for nice houses without social security numbers, without bank accounts. There's so many questions
But from what banks?
Yeah, that's from where? That's the whole.
From where?
I don't know. I don't know whether it was government programs or it was part of the. Maybe that's where the feds are coming in because it was.
Is that part of that U.S. aid?
Maybe, I don't know. But they literally got mortgages, and I mean from the capitalist side of it, you have some construction companies. Who are the construction companies that did it? Who are they connected to? Right. Why did they get that? They built these subdivisions. They built the town. I mean, football fields and baseball fields and everything. It's so they built that with money. Where did it come from? How did they get the rights and the permits and the contracts to do all that? It seems like there's a lot that'll come out on that. And the fact that it's in Texas is, I mean, it's great because it'll actually be talked about because they could say, look what Texas did. But without that, they wouldn't really be talked about. The EU, we didn't talk about how the EU totally backed down. And this, I didn't understand when there's just the rhetoric. It was Canada, which we do need to talk about Canada. But they would come out and say, we're standing up to the U.S., blah, blah, blah. And then literally 24 hours to 48 hours later, they're, okay, whatever, we'll do it. Why would you, why not just not say anything? Why would you come out and stand up, so fervently just to back down 24 hours later? It just seems weird.
You were just glitching really bad. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear what you're saying. Why would you just come out and back somebody 24 hours later? That's all I heard.
Why would it Mexico, Canada, and the EU did now, but they came out before in the beginning, and they were we're standing up to the U.S. We're not gonna stand for this, blah blah blah. We're gonna fight, and then 24, sometimes less, 48 hours later, they would come out with their hat in their hand and completely, bend the knee.
Mm.
And Europe did that. Europe came out. They're like, we're united,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. U.S. can't tell us what to do. And now they're like, hey, we're good with
We're
zero.
coming to the table.
We're
Yeah.
good with 0-0 tariffs, man. That's cool. That's what
Yeah.
we really wanted in the first place.
Mhm.
That's, jokes on you. That's what we like. It's
But I don't think they want, or maybe that's part of the trick, because it was my understanding it wasn't good to have 0-0 tariffs, because you wanted to have at least 10%, but have equal. Because if you had 0-0, then there was some way for them to then send, then the Chinese send their stuff to UK or Mexico or wherever, and then slip their product in. And so it was some way to to stop that, to at least have a minimum of 10% on each other, to not have 0-0.
well,
But
you can have 0-0. It's just what's the origin. And then you can look at import export. I'm importing stuff from China and then exporting it, selling it for a marked up price. That's literally the basis of everyone that sells everything on YouTube and everywhere. You buy cheap shit from China, you slap something on it, and then you sell it for more, on your page or in your store. So that's,
I said I don't do that, but
you do.
I
All
don't
the
do it.
stuff you sell on your page, your drink, your cups, and all that. Where do you think that's made?
Oh, on the YouTube thing?
Yeah, see, everyone does that. It's literally the basis.
Nobody buys that though. So
we buy shit cheap and we sell it for more. The place where you buy shit cheap is China. Now, if that changes and it's more of a level playing field, then it's not as big of a deal to look somewhere else. But it's so dramatic now. I remember I was eating these peaches, a little thing of peaches, and it said picked in Venezuela, packaged in Taiwan or Malaysia, and then shipped to the United States. Literally, they picked it in South America, sent it all the way to Asia to get packaged, and then shipped it to me. That's the cheapest way to do it, because I'm not buying them.
That is not vine ripened.
But that was literally the cheaper way than someone making it, growing peaches in Texas or Georgia and then sending them to Texas. That was more expensive than picking it in South America, sending it to Asia, and in Asia, sending it to the United States. That was cheaper. How does that work? That is cheaper than someone in Georgia growing peaches, packaging them, and sending it to Texas. That makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
But in Walmart, I know that when I'm looking at the peaches, I'm like, $1.50, $2, $1.50.
I meant to share this with you. I think I did share it with you, but we just didn't talk about it over on my channel. Which it was something about. It kind of goes back to when you had told me about, and Mom had told me about it originally. The Walmart. Here, I'll have to send you a link, I think. Or how do I can't remember how I do it on this channel. When I'm on your channel, I think I present. And this talking about military, whatever. What if Walmart is not what you think?
That's me.
Yeah. Let me play this just real quick. It's super quick.
Why Walmarts are closing? The answer is simple. When I took an Army logistics class, the U.S. Army developed a logistics system for Walmart. Walmarts were strategically set up around the world to act as military distribution bases. So if we have problems in Yemen, the Special Forces takes over the Walmart in Yemen. You can order a helicopter and nuclear weapons on a Walmart logistics system. There's a back door into it. They taught me that. If you are going to have Operation Jade Helm throughout the Southwest, you seize a Walmart. You can order things such as M16 rounds. You can order an M16 to the Walmart program. So they walk into a Walmart, fire 2,200 people in California. You're all laid off, go away, no unemployment, get out of here. Because the military then takes over their base. The specific logistics program I was trained on in California is the same program they use at Walmart. The Walmarts are federal military posts how many Walmarts they have, they get extra money from the government. And when the government takes over, they get a fortune from the government. Those products are redistributed to other Walmarts. In addition, the American dollar is no longer being accepted in a lot of countries. Walmart can't get products. Nobody will exchange the American dollar for the toys that we're getting at Walmart. Sorry, it's the way it is. The end game is here. Folks, if you get laid off from Walmart and Home Depot, they're federal, they're similar to colleges that are federal repositories. Like,
And Lowe's is closing like all their stores by the end of, I can't remember what year. Something coming up. My husband just told me about it. Like, it's bizarre though. And you know, they were using the
brought up Jade Helm.
It is weird that he brought a Jade Helm, because that's the thing where they were going to use the Walmarts as they put the concertina wire facing in, because that's where they were going to like use them to lock up the conservatives. And they went around and put stickers on their mailboxes and stuff.
That's when, that's when all the Walmarts closed and just they were all emptied out. And everyone's like, dude, I just got fired. And it was like 40 Walmarts. It was a crazy amount of Walmarts. And we do live in this, right? Like I said on your channel, I live by the largest military base used to be in the world. Tons of people, but when Jade Helm happened and things were, weird.
Oh, well, Lowe's is only closing for 24 hours. Okay,
yeah, that's another thing. So this area
on Easter,
this one little highway that connects to the post, shut down twice. I think we had power outages, but so there's Walmart. I don't know, Google Earth this, but there's Walmart, and then there's a little street. There's a Wendy's, Cane's, but then there's this big. It looks like an empty lake or pond almost, and it looks like there's an entrance to an underground facility. I mean, really.
Is it not just like an overflow thing?
No, there's no water. It's
okay.
Just looks it's ground. It looks like there was something there, but it looks like a huge. I mean, like for big trucks, not like a doorway. I mean, like a huge. It's very weird. And I looked at it, and then there's this weird transformer. It just looks like that's what it is. And I didn't look at the world that way until Jade Helm. And I don't know. It's just a very odd thing. I'm gonna look up my Walmart and see if I can show it to you.
I wonder if it's like that on multiple Walmarts. Like if you could go and view, like from Google Earth, multiple Walmarts, if there's always like a
if you can look in your town there,
little lake thing.
Let's see.
And is it only by the super centers, or is it by like the little neighborhood ones too? Or
okay, I can show you. This is really weird. All right, hold on. Let me see. Present. Share screen. Okay. Well, is this it? No, that's not it. Where is it? Is it here? There it is. Okay. All right. So you can see, right?
yes.
All right, so here's Walmart, right?
The Walmart. Uh-huh.
And then here's Constitution. So then here's a little shopping center thing.
Okay.
Here's a Cane's. This is Arby's. And then on Liberty Lane, this right here. You see this doorway here?
Oh yeah.
This is a giant cement doorway. And then it doesn't, it look at their.
What's that building that it's behind?
That's a little mall like Sally.
No, on the other side.
That's HEB, I think.
Hmm.
No, that's not HEB. Oh, what is that? I forget.
Looks like a strip mall or something.
It does look like a strip mall. What am I? So
Robert Griffin Boulevard.
this is the Arby's. This is the little mall. This is a Golden Corral that they built and never used or opened. The whole big Golden Corral. They never opened it, never used it, nothing. For like 15 years. It's just sat here. Never used. That's weird. I mean, we've always thought that was weird. But anyway, so this goes right here by the road. The road connects to this main thoroughfare that goes to the post here. And this is a massive transformer, whatever thing with super high security, all automated shit all around it. It's barbed wired off. Very, very weird. Here's another, like, look at this thing.
Yeah, what is that space?
Look at that giant cement thing right by all the power stuff. That's another entranceway, it looks like. This is like 20, 30 feet down, and this all surrounded by a cement wall. With an access point in here to like drive in. It's just weird looking. And I never really, and then the other one's like a secondary one. It's very odd. This is HEB. But I mean, look at here and here. These two things are so weird.
Zoom out or go down, like where that wall is. Like what's past that? Does it look like it has a pathway going down?
Where
you were on the big wall? No, down. The original wall.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
It's like you can like entrance in here and then go straight in here.
And then where does it go from there? Like if you zoomed out.
Well, here, that's the whole thing. Walmart's right here. Here's Walmart, and then this is all like.
And then who's all this property that nobody's building on?
I don't know.
Except that one house or one building.
I don't know. This is all kind of open stuff. On Constitution and Liberty Bell. But yeah, these are just two really weird things that no one can explain. Like it, I wish there was a way to kind of zoom in or go in to show you like the street
it's
level.
not a pond, like you said. Huh.
I wish
there's not a way to like stand on the ground and look at it.
Street view. I forget how to do that. But anyway, yeah. Like, how do you do street view?
I don't know.
Search this area.
You might have to be on your phone to do it or something.
No, I don't think so. Oh well, but that's it. That's what you can see. I'm not alone in saying it's weird.
It's strange.
Very weird. You can't see the depth, just I guess from the shadow, but it's like 20 feet down. That this is a way to drive down into there. Like, what's it for? Why do you drive? Why does it even exist? That is 20 feet down. This, as you can see, is dug out, and then this is down like 20 some feet. You know, it's huge. Like a big 18-wheeler can drive in there, but it's closed. There's like cement around it, and it looks like there's a second.
Jim says, grab the little icon person and drop him there. Do you see an icon person?
No.
No.
Do you see an icon person? I don't see an icon.
No.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You can't even.
Go to the next town over and see if the next Walmart is like that too.
I don't think it is. I'm going to look at this one.
Or where there's a base. Another town where there's a base. Where would it be? Like Lawton, Oklahoma has a base.
Okay, so let's.
Is this a town with a base?
Well, it's all this Harker Heights, so it's
Another close to the base where you are.
yeah.
Okay.
Killeen, it's right in the middle of town. It's old, so it's so different looking at it from this angle.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard to get your bearings.
Knight's Way. Let's see.
That looks like a movie theater.
Yeah, it is. Why is it not showing me? No. Where's the Walmart at?
Is that not it where the number 1 is on the map with the circle?
It looks so small.
It's because you're very high up.
There's a lot of open land here. I didn't look at this Walmart first because it's old. Like they built 2 or 3 Walmarts and they keep till they got this location.
Yeah.
So this one was old, so I thought it would be just in the middle of town, but there's so much around it. It's just open. I mean, you could have an entrance in like any of these buildings. It wouldn't have to be like just super out there in the open. What's this right here?
Kazoo said, "Are we looking for Sean's car last night party?" Oh, yeah, there you go. That looks like a wall. That's a different height or something.
It looks like that's a truck. And look at how tiny it is.
On Bunny Trail.
It is weird. Okay, well, it's fun looking at Walmart.
Interesting. It would be interesting to see like how many of the Walmarts have weird walls or possible underground entrances close by.
But yeah, you showed the Jade Helm thing, so that made it weird. I had to think about that, but that's that's another thing people don't really talk about. That was one of the first times that a state. We didn't talk for the tariffs. We didn't talk about California. About what Newsom did.
And what Noam's doing?
What's she doing?
Going in and building the wall and taking over?
I know Newsom went out basically to go around the federal government, around Trump, and said, hey, other countries, if you buy products from California, let's negotiate our own tariffs and lack of tariffs. So he was trying to, which, Texas did that with Mexico, but it was like
Interesting.
state to state. You know how I said we have that, we negotiated a treaty with Chihuahua, and they set up a office, which I said that's an embassy, man. And
so this is very interesting because there was I shared some information that through a couple things. Okay, my brain is like running wild. Oklahoma had done some deal with Saudi before all the tariff things, at which, we have a huge natural gas and oil and gas and resources and all this. And it was something about security and natural gas and whatever. I'll have to go back and find the article. When I do, I'll post it on my Patreon and I'll put it in the Telegram group for everybody. But then just like a couple weeks ago, I posted something about Finland being on the Finnish, people being in Arkansas, in Greenwood, Arkansas, and or the U.S. Department of Education visiting Finland. Well, Finland has amazing education. They really respect their teachers. Like, it's a whole thing. And then at the same time, about the same time that we had people visiting there to learn about education or to whatever they were doing there, my mom was telling me how, it was weird. There were people talking on, the little Hey Greenwood Facebook page about how they saw Finland delegates or people from Finland, the little, the big black cars and little wavy flags in Greenwood and in Arkansas in Fort Smith. So Fort Smith Airport is one of the tiniest little airports, but it has one of the biggest bases, Fort Chaffee. It's also where a lot of Navy SEALs go to retire and stuff. I don't know what that's all about, but anyway. But they are apparently hiring or bringing in over 900 families to make that a military airport for the public, but run by the military. And the Finnish people were there visiting it. Like, something's up. I don't know what's up, but there's all this stuff going on between the states and other countries. So maybe we get to say, you guys, Fed, you broke the Constitution, you broke the contract. We had a contract with you, and we go to nation states. And then that's how we do get rid of the US dollar, the Fed dollar. And then we have all of our state gold and silver backed currencies. There were many states during the Great Infection backed their state treasuries with gold and silver. And also we have the assets that we have in our states, or resources that, could be natural gas or oil or minerals, whatever.
Would be in a lot of trouble. Some states would be much better off than others.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah. But
it's the person that talked to me about the Newsom thing said it was, terrible. I was like, well, I think it's going to further the divorce, the states from, I think it's, it's California. So it's immediately you're like, oh, screw them. But it's when states stand up and they're like, hey, we're our own, state. You don't like it, you can go to another one. That's, which is, it's how it's supposed to be. I mean, we're literally supposed to be like the EU. We're supposed to be just more of a partnership for economic and, security. We're not supposed to be run by,
by the government,
a central government office.
Right. They can put to death murderers and take care of things like that. But other than that, we don't need them telling us what to do.
You ever read that letter that David Crockett sent out from the Alamo asking for help?
Mm-mm.
It's really good. You should read it. Very powerful. But he was a senator in the U.S. government, and he said, like, basically, screw you guys, I'm going home. He said, I'm going to Texas. He went to Texas. So they're surrounded by Santa Ana. There's only a handful of them there. He sends this letter out, and he said, like, I'm calling on EU Americans, basically like Ukraine did for the EU. We need to stand with Texas, Santa Ana. If most people that come here, you're probably going to die. I know I'm going to die. I'm cool with that. It's super heroic, but he was talking to these other states like they were countries. Like, hey, please come to Texas's aid. If you don't know what's going to happen. Like, Russia's going to move through Europe. Mexico can move through the rest of your states. And so they got the letter out, which had to go through enemy lines, which was, a big deal. But it got to the closest town was Goliad. And basically, they're going to die. I mean, they're surrounded by so many overwhelming troops. And 33 people went from the town of Goliad, and they're the only ones that got there because, Texas was very open and big, and just to get to the rest of the country would take forever. So it would be a long time before any reinforcement could get there. So the 33 people went from Goliad. They're like immortalized. There's a big monument to them in Goliad, Texas. But anyway, so they went there, and then they fought off, forever, and eventually the word got out. But of course, the Alamo fell, and then, but that was like the rattling cry, or the battle cry was, remember the Alamo, remember the Goliad 33. Those were and they beat the crap out of the ancient Mexican giant superpower, and Texas got its independence. But yeah, that's getting back to the way things were set up. They were set up by brilliant people who, it's like, you don't want to admit that they're smarter because it was the past, I guess. It doesn't make sense. And we're smarter now than we have been. But it was like, here's like 10 rules. Don't break these rules and the country will be great. The republic will be set. And we literally break like every rule. Like, don't have a centralized bank. Don't have a party system. Just big rules.
All the things, yeah.
We broke them all.
Well, I was watching this interview with the people that did that do the curriculum for our homeschooling program on the Sean Ryan Show, and it's called Classical Conversations. You guys can go watch it. It's like 3 hours long, but it's really good. I really loved it. I think you guys will enjoy a lot of it. I mean, you can fast forward, but there's a lot of really good stuff there. And one of the things they're talking about is pushing back on these coupon things or handouts from the government to homeschool. Well, you can get this voucher and then you can homeschool. But to do that, then they, of course, then the clause come in, and then they start regulating, how you homeschool and what you have to be qualified and what you're homeschooling and all that.
What you can use the coupons for.
What's that?
And what you can use the coupons for.
Sure. All of the things. And so they talked about and we talked about a little bit with IAM on Monday, but they talked about, the three authorities are like, the father's over the family, the church comes in to step in to, if somebody can't afford to. So they have Sean Ryan has this great conversation with the Bortons, the people that do the curriculum. And they're like, well, we had this conversation with a single mom. And she said, well, don't you remember though, before the vouchers, I had to get my aunt to come watch the kids, and I had to work a part-time job to be able to afford school and take care of the kids and whatever. And she's like, now I don't have to. And he goes, do you hear what you're saying? So before you had to work hard, which is something we should all be proud of, and depend on your family. And now you depend on the government.
Mm-hmm.
handout. And you think that's a good thing. That's the sickness. Like
Perception.
that's where they twist people's mind. Now you're dependent on the government instead of working hard and depending on your family and your community, the healthy way to get through life.
Mhm.
No, just depend on the government. And we'll tell you exactly how to raise your children.
I saw this memes. I'm sure you've seen the meme, the like world pool championship. It's by it's got down to two trans women. So they're two women with penises that are the women's division that are playing against each other. So we totally pushed out the chicks on that one. But what is so there's AI. If you're talking about teaching.
Mhm.
What is this? So teachers are using AI to grade students' papers, and students are using AI
To write
to
the
write
paper.
the papers and to
Yeah.
solve the papers.
Mhm.
So what's the point of having like going to school or having teachers at all? You just have some AIs talking to each other, and you could watch it. I guess I
Crazy.
don't know.
Yeah. Insane.
That was I thought it was pretty funny. We can wrap it up. It was good hanging out with you guys.
Great to see you.
It's fun going on Google Earth.
Yeah, post in the description of this video or in the comments if you can find any more of those underground entrances behind
Yeah,
Walmart.
go to your Walmart. Just drive around.
Go to your local
Check
Walmart.
it out.
You find in a good video.
Yes, go and do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.